The Chicago Bulls really shocked the NBA for the first few months of the season, the way they came out the gate firing after adding DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso in the 2021 offseason. I think everyone knew the Bulls would be better, but the way DeMar was playing, the way DeRozan was balling, it looked like he would win MVP, and his running mate Zach LaVine would help take the Bulls back to a place that they hadn't been since the 90s, the NBA Finals. Well, one of the gentlemen that was a part of the last dynamic duo in the Windy City, Scottie Pippen, recently gave his assessment of the Bulls last season following a first-round domination by Giannis and the pretty much Chris Middleton-less Milwaukee Bucks squad. He told NBC Sports, throughout the regular season, they definitely looked a lot better. I think DeRozan definitely brought them some firepower that they needed from an offensive standpoint. I think in the postseason, they sort of fell back into the slot that they've been for the past 10 or 15 years. They are just not a team that's built for the postseason. They had some injuries this year, but the other teams out there are continuing to improve. Milwaukee is still going to be strong, Miami, so even if the improvements that the Bulls are making is drastic improvements, other teams are making moves too. They are really not giving the Bulls a chance to close the gap. Myself and Michael Jordan dominated the Eastern Conference, and when I look at the game right now, the Milwaukee Bucks have been dominant in the East. Until you're able to find an answer for Giannis, I think the Bulls will be a team that will be in the middle of the road because he is the most dominant player in the game right now. Unfortunately for them, he plays in the East. He's the target that they've got to get around. Now, everybody knows I love me some Giannis, right? To be fair to the Bulls, Giannis and the Bucks have only made one real run at this thing, all right? Now, again, I believe if Chris Middleton would have just been able to get out there from Game 3 on, I think the Bucks advanced past the Celtics easily, but he was not. And because of that, the Bucks were eliminated in the second round. Again, the Bucks only had one real run. Before that, they had some postseason problems and struggles as well. I do agree with Scottie from this standpoint. Watching the Bulls and Bucks fight it out for about 2 games, and then from there on out, watching the Bucks dominate the Bulls without Chris Middleton, there is a big gap between those two teams because there's a big gap between Giannis and DeMar DeRozan. Again, a DeRozan who was very much in the MVP conversation last year. The Bulls need to work harder on getting the number 1 seed out East, and they need to pray that the Bucks don't end up the 8th seed or the 4 or 5 seed. If the Chicago Bulls want to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, their best bet is to avoid the Milwaukee Bucks in rounds 1 or round 2. That's the best thing I can tell. Because no matter what they do, they're locked in with DeRozan and LaVine going forward, which they should be. We'll see what they do at center. But no matter what they do, I will always say they're a bad matchup for Giannis. I've seen DeRozan have that look in his eye before. When he meets his match, much like Chris Paul, he will bow down. He did it against LeBron and the Cavs for many years when he was in Toronto, and it's happening again. Giannis, to me, the undoubtedly best player in the world, is just too much for DeMar DeRozan, even at his best. So for DeRozan, his best bet is to play as hard as he can, duke it out in the regular season, find a way to be that 1 seed, which the Bulls will have a chance to be next year, assuming they're healthy, and avoid Milwaukee for as long as they can, and then pray, I don't know, another injury, maybe the next injury, and I'm not rooting for anybody to go down, maybe the next Bucks injury is Jrue Holiday. Maybe that's a better situation for Chicago versus Chris Middleton, because even with Middleton down, the Bucks had no problems with Chicago. If a Giannis injury happens sometime in the postseason, maybe that's what you're looking for if you're in Chicago. What we know is as long as Giannis and Jrue Holiday at least are on the court, the Bucks are going to get rid of the Bulls in 5 games, let alone when Chris Middleton gets back. So I do understand what Scottie Pippen is saying, but I want to give credit to the Chicago Bulls for the incredible strides that they made last year. A home run getting DeMar, who clearly still has some great basketball left in the tank. I thought he just had good. No, he has great. Let me know in the comment section what moves would you make if you were the Chicago Bulls out there to help improve that roster. It doesn't have to be a great move like bringing in a superstar, but what could be made, a comparable piece that helps add problems to some of the top tier teams out East and give the Bulls a real chance at competing for something special next season.